In recent years, Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill that will not allow California prisons or the state of California to perform forced sterilizations in prisons. A report from 2013 said that female inmates in facilities were being sterilized and without the proper consent. Women are now protected by this bill. However, some of these women were not as fortunate as the women who are protected. Some of these women that were illegally sterilized obviously no longer have the ability to have children. And the Department of Corrections of any state should not perform sterilizations without the women's proper consent. A lot of women may question how they got into the predicament that they are in. They may regret what they did in the past and are ready to make a change in their lives, especially because they're pregnant. So, who is the system to say that these women are worthy of having children again and being able to rear children? A report from between the years of 2006 and 2010, there were about 150 female inmates that were sterilized by doctors under the contract of California Department and Rehabilitation. One of these audits mentioned that the tubal ligations were done illegally without proper consent of the prisoner. Giving birth is such a vulnerable time for any woman. It's such a life change for anybody that's having a child come into this world. And they were pressured to make a life-changing decision without the proper information and consent. Now, how is that fair? And sterilization for anybody is not an easy decision. People that have just given birth may not be in their right state. Some of these women may be nervous, anxious, overwhelmed with a new baby, especially prisoners. They're questioning the future that their baby may have. And some of these women might be also experiencing postpartum depression. So how is it that these women can make such a life-changing decision? Some of these women that were targeted and that were sterilized, they were targeted as being women that were likely to return to the prison system, so that's why they felt that they had the right to sterilize these women. Just because women are incarcerated once or twice doesn't mean that they're going to return to prison. With this in mind, what if the birth children were motivation for these women to change? Giving birth is something very special to a woman in many cases. So that might be a little bit of a motivation for these women to change their lives and build a better, healthier life for themselves and for their children. In conclusion, it's a relief that these medical professionals were discovered and they were reported, and now there is a bill in place for women not to be sterilized without the proper consent. Although it is very saddening that a lot of these women will have to live with that scar of not being able to have children any longer, however, it is a relief that legal action has taken place in order for future inmates not to deal with this. It is illegal, and it is our human right to know what happens to us medically and to know our best interest, that our best interest is taken into consideration. Now, with all this being said, whose side are you on?